Chapter 10. Clan. Then a rumour started in New Baden that in the mountains there were people no one had seen, only rumours of wild men and women. It was said that they could cast spells. They lived in the forests and caves deep in the mountains that stretch to the farthest coast. The rumours reached the executives. Without hesitation, they sent in the gallant force, 800 men armed with the best weapons. The executive knew the secret ancient story of the clan. Reports came back after 3 weeks. They had been seen in the area known to be the home of the clan. The force had gone into the woods, but they never came back, never heard of again, not a trace. A hunter, tracker, with a long history of excellence, was ordered by the executive to look for the force. He was excited to work for them, as this would put him at the top of all the other hunters. He set off for the mountains. The weather held for him. He passed through villages, some of them very poor, some of them abandoned. He thought it strange. The fields were deserted of crops, yet the weather held. As he reached the edge of the forest, he made a small camp. He built a hut with brush and logs, a fire pit and a corral. Then the weather changed. It rained for 6 days and nights. He had never seen such rain. It washed away his camp. He took to the trees, making a shelter of thick branches and a large canvas sheet. He stayed moderately dry. On the 7th day, the rain stopped and the wind dropped. The sun came from the dark running clouds. He went looking for the soldiers. 7 months later, in rags, he emerged from the woods. He was almost dead. He staggered out near his derelict camp. There was nothing there but the remains of his small hut, and it was in shambles. The hunter sat at the small stream. He drank, but it tasted tainted. He got to his feet. His legs wobbled, and he fell. When he awoke, the sun was up, and the sky had rolling clouds. The wind sang through the trees. He pulled off his ragged shirt. It kept tangling around his arm and waist. His wobbly legs still not obeying his muzzy brain, but he knew he must get away from the demon. The hunter found his staggering legs had brought him to an old forgotten track. He saw no one, yet he sensed the demon was behind him. He screamed. He tried to run, but he fell, falling into a dike along the track. He woke again, not knowing the way to walk. Clambering out of the dike, he looked up to the warm night sky. The shadow moon was in the west, the Anvil Mountains and forest in the east. He staggered west. 2 days later he collapsed at the gates of a small town. The patrol officers saw him, a bedraggled figure stumbling along the burn by the scorching sun, his hair sticking out from his head like he had been shocked, his beard long and wispy. At first they thought he would die, but then he spoke. "They're gone. He's coming. Run, run." He collapsed in a dead faint. They picked him up. He was light as a feather, put him in on a carry cart they wheeled him to the clan woman. After a week of crushed leaves, berries, fruits, and smoked medicine, he awoke screaming. They held him down. She calmed him. She held his arm. Her eyes closed. She saw what he had endured. She knew the demon was the most powerful. "Where am I?" he mumbled. Are you real? Are you fake? What have you done to me? The hunter collapsed back into his nightmare. For a week, he kept waking up and screaming at all times of the day and night. He asked questions like, "Who are you? What are you? How do you float? Don't pour that on." His hands trying to remove something from his long hair and beard. Then he would exhale like a burst balloon. He seemed to sink down and into the cot. She had found no trace of fresh wounds on his emaciated body. She had seen the old scars from him being scratched by a reptile or a fur creature. He tossed and turned. Eventually he settled down. On the third week he woke up early in the morning. The woman sat in her moving seat, covered in her patchwork lap robe. He looked over to her. "You were in the town of Olden, the fortress, before the great forest," the woman said softly to him. He looked around wide-eyed. "We must go to the city. They're coming. They will burn and kill us all. No one spared." He struggled to lift himself up onto one elbow. He was terrified. The woman sent for the commander to see him. "Did you see our force?" he said to the hunter sharply. No one alive. They're gone," he stammered. "They'd been taken and just disappeared from view. They're all gone. They're dead. The Maidika clan took care of them for going to war in the great forest. They captured me and held me in a cave with no light. They came, tying me to a stake, then poured a potion on my head. After a while, the demon looked into my eyes. He made me see the battle again as though I was fighting with them. It felt so real." The hunter sat up, pulling his skinny legs onto the floor, his head bowed down. "They are not of this world. The demon and his army of painted warriors charged the front line of the 800. There was constant stream of darts and fireballs. The demon and the clan seemed to be oblivious of them. A purple light to a man surrounded each. The darts hit home to the light, but just disappeared. She stood up, bringing him water mixed with berries and a dust potion. Then they slaughtered the lines of the floors with axe and cutters, bows and pikes. Not a man left to tell the tale. They took the bodies to the great forest. The demon held out his arms and he shouted strange old clan words. The dead bodies lifted into the air, then floated into the forest. I watched them from a hilltop hidden in the old trees. His story confused by the demon's drugs. Before they found me, I had sat in a tree for over 4 days. They found me. Many of them clambered up in the trees as though it was almost a normal thing to do. 2 of them came towards me and I scuffled out onto the end of the branch. A silver rope whirled around my body, and then I was on the ground, and they were dragging me to the caves. I had no weapon. I was not a threat to them. The demon of the clan forced me to drink a sweet wine, and I slept for many days. The hunter was revealing his ordeal, and he was shaking and stuttering, so confused. Eventually, they threw me out into the forest, and I wandered for years. Not years. You've only been away for 2 seasons, said the commander, sitting on the edge of the cot. Oh, but well, it seemed years in the forest. Snow came, rain, leaves on the trees changing time after time. Then it snowed. Then it was so hot, animals fled into the highlands. I kept walking, but I don't remember eating. I just kept walking, day and night. But the forest wouldn't let me go. Something kept me inside. It was the demon punishing me for being in their forest. He closed his eyes. In his mind he saw the demon standing over him, pouring a sack of green leaves on him. Then they became brown. The hunter tried to bat them off, but they stuck to his body. When the snow came, he didn't get burnt. This potion may help you, hunter, to get back. If you make it, tell them we shall come. The hunter cried, opening his eyes. They will come. He looked at the officer and the woman, turning away from their frightened stares. One morning I walked into a pasture. I'd not seen any open space in the forest, just trees. There was an old woman in a small stone house built on ancient clan ground, and there were posters with flags and skulls. There was a small stream with a bridge. An animal sat looking at me. It was a trafab, you know. It had long green body, with the claws on each of its 4 legs, standing as high as my chest, a big head, a mouth full of teeth. Its bushy tail stood up, moving back and forth, like it was using magic to make me sleep. She called it, and it ran to her, sitting by her side. When I walked over the bridge, it changed. It was only a woodland wolfhound. Still dangerous, but it knew her. She took me in. It was bigger inside, and the bed was warm. She gave me a milk-type drink and a potion, and then I slept. I don't know how long I slept, but my beard grew longer. When I awoke, she stood with a staff, her pink, blue and hair arrowhead pulled around her shoulders, and she took hold of me, taking me to the river that I never knew existed. She told me to go across. I would find my way to the fortress. To the surprise of the clan woman and the officer, he sank back into the bed, collapsing into a deep coma, staying that way for 3 seasons. In the beginning of the 2nd season, the horde of clan came to the fortress of Alden. They swarmed over the battlements like a flock of birds heading south. The demon, almost 8 feet tall, covered in clan tattoos, painted white and blue from head to foot, ransacking the fortress. The horde took everything, livestock, tools, weapons, killing everyone except the hunter and the clan woman. The executive sent another patrol, but it was never heard of again. The great executive installed a wall across the plains to keep the clan out. They rejoiced. It kept the great executives out of their highlands and sacred mountains. The wall blocked off the main road to the fortress in Olden, which they deserted except for a woman and a sleeping hunter. After another season, he sat up early one morning as the sun chased the darkness away. What is this? What is this place? Where am I? I need to... He fell back. For weeks he woke up slowly, coming around, not screaming or gibbering strange words. She understood some of what he said, and she knew the demon had gotten inside his head with the potions. She mixed her berry juices into porridge. When she gave him his first spoonful, he gagged. But then, after a while, he ate as much as she gave him. She nursed him back to health, her potions ridding him of the pains and nightmares. Finally, he slept calmly for 2 days and nights. When he awoke, she dressed him in a new shirt and leather pants. She scoured the wreck of the fortress, finding a pair of new boots and a large brim hat. The now younger clan woman put him in a cart. She put the leather harness across her shoulder, pulling him to the gate, blocking the road to Olden. She knew she had a long walk to the city. He couldn't walk. His muscles had faded, and she kept walking.